Well, Canada is one of the few industrialized countries without a national school food program, and now researchers are urging for a nationwide initiative for meals at schools. For more on this, we're joined by Amberley Ruetz. She's a PhD candidate at the University of Guelph, researching the impact of school food programs. She joins me today from Guelph, Ontario. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Angie.
So take me through this quickly now, the model of a national food program, and what exactly would it look like?
So that would look like every child and student in Canada from kindergarten to grade 12 having access to a healthy meal at school. And there's a number of ways this could be done. In some countries, it's done as a breakfast. Some it's done as a breakfast and a lunch or a snack. But essentially, we're looking at least one meal at school per day for every student.
And we know, of course, I mean, we've all heard the saying, I mean, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So for children, how critical is it for them to have that available to them in schools?
It's critical. This has been studied time and time again, and we know that children who eat breakfast before they go to school or at school learn so much better. There's even local research been done at this in Toronto and across the world, and this is why it's a recommendation by UNICEF and other international organizations around the world.
What other countries have national food programs? That's sort of part one of my question, and part two is why don't we?
It's a great question. So there's, lots of nations that have school food programs. Some of the top nations in the world, like France and Italy, Finland, Brazil, both developed and developing nations see it as an economic growth strategy and a health promotion strategy. So that's why they have one. And for us in Canada, we're in a unique political situation where our provinces have jurisdiction over education. So when you mention schools, unfortunately, sometimes that federal discussion shuts down because of that jurisdictional issue. However, that being said, there is precedence now set in Canada with the Public Health Agency of Canada funding some innovative new school food programs that deal with local food into schools. So this can be done, and it will be done. And
there's also both a social and economic benefit to having a national food program.
Absolutely. Yeah, so in Brazil, actually, 30% of all their food procured and served in schools comes from local farms. And that's been a huge catalyst for economic growth. And then to our neighbors to the south, $800 million worth of food every year is procured from local and medium-sized farms. And you can see just the potential for that and fueling our provincial and national economy if we're able to do that here.
Lastly, I want to ask you, so where are things right now in terms of getting this going and I guess sort of putting this forward towards the federal government to have a national food program in place?
So Senator Art Eggleton first put this motion in the Senate in June, and we have been calling to get this onto into the House of Commons for discussion. And we're asking people to write their MPs. There's actually a letter template on my website where you can visit and download it. And we're encouraging everyone to get this going because this has been discussed at the first time, back in 1997 in the House of, at the federal level, and again in 2015. We're really hoping that this can be the final time, the third time is the charm to get this going. But we really need the political will to have this happen. So we need people to get active, pick up the phone, email their MPs, and have this come to fruition.
All right. Well, we'll keep a very, very close eye on things. Amber Ruetz, PhD candidate, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me.